as part of our shift into teaching would also be part of setting up a network in Ireland, which is called Real Bread Ireland. We were based on the Real Bread network within the UK, but it was totally independent from that. It was firstly set up by someone called Keith Bohana. He brought together 4 different bakers within Ireland, and we all met up and we decided to be able to create a network of bakers within Ireland. This year, we're in our 10th year of this community, and we now have over 250 independent bakers, millers, and growers within that. Within that network, we've then set up a separate network in it of millers and growers. And previously, there was no way, it was very difficult to connect bakers, millers, and growers across the country and to be able to have the conversations that were required. It is a very lonely, difficult, and physical task being a baker. You work very long hours, and it would often be at times, if something goes wrong, you do not have the knowledge around you, and there was no way of communicating that. Through the Real Bread network, it was set up, if somebody has a problem, we have a really dynamic WhatsApp group. You just put it up there. Absolutely, somebody else is going to be working at that same time, be it on any time within a 24-hour period, because people are always on it. You put it up, okay, my mixer is going backwards. Why is this happening? Somebody will jump in and kind of go, you just need to change the polarity on your wires. That's a common one, people put in a new mixer. There's been times, oh, my Rofco hasn't worked. People always know there's a little button around the back you need to press. So for new bakers come on, there are common questions that people always have. And whenever they pop up, so this network, this is why it is really important to have these networks to help bring these people together, to connect each other. Last weekend, but unfortunately due to the fuel protests, we had to postpone it. We were going to be meeting up with an independent miller through Oak Forest Mills down in Kilkenny, and that's Emma Clutterbrook down there. And then to look at this year's grain that they have been brought on. They struggled for 2 years. They lost their grains within the field. So now they have their new grain coming along. So instead of them losing connection with their market, which would have been the people who were small independent bakers, they can readily hold a meeting, bring everyone together via this network to re-put themselves back out there and to be able to show the grains that they have to be able to use this year. Because otherwise, they would have no way of getting back out and contacting all the independent bakers. And we also know exactly what struggles that they went through within this time. And this is why within these networks, it is so important. Or a flour comes along and there's a complete change of it. People kind of go, what's happened to the flour? And you're able to tell each other what happens with this flour. And those support work, it's completely non-hierarchical within our network. It is completely members-based. So we would work at that out, that people, and if you want to hold an event, you want to do anything, you do it. And there are just very few rules within it, just be sound. That's our rule, kind of stuff like that. If you're sound, you can be part of it. And you bake real bread, which we bread without chemicals. You have to do some breads without chemicals. So once you are doing that and you're sound and and you're willing to support by sharing your knowledge, that we do that. So that would be, and because the way those system works within that isn't supported by our government networks. They just do not do this work because we exist outside a larger commodity system of extractiveness, and because our relationships are direct selling within the direct selling between the, I don't like calling it people who want to eat the food, eaters. I don't like this customer relationship. So between people and producers, people, growers, millers and bakers. There was a time in the large industrial system tried to prevent that and tried to close it down. But 17 years ago, there was to try to stop the farmers' markets in Ireland, which were taking off. And we all had to stand on our farmers' market for one day, and then they were counted from then on. So we know the system tries to push back. This capitalist system does try to push back between direct selling. So by having a network which really does educate and support small change to be able to deliver what they're doing into this local system is vital within because we see the longer chains don't work. We saw, especially when there's snow in Ireland, the supermarkets run out of bread immediately because the supermarkets can't get the bread into the trucks and the trucks can't get down the countries. But there's bread in every small town which has a small bakery. because the bakers can walk to work and the people can walk to the bakery. So we know with the crisis of climate change, we've saw very large storms within Ireland. For resilience and for our own food security, it is vital that we have these very small food chains, especially for vital foods, so that we can feed ourselves during these crisis times and not rely on food to be transported over very large distances.